Welcome to the Suias Committee of the Whole, June 3rd, 2019 at 9 a.m. in Council Chambers. So I would just like to say that Councillor Rhodes and Councillor Bennett and I are here. Councillor Harvey is joining us on the phone, and Councillor King is on a cruise ship on the northern end of Scotland, so he will not be joining us today. Could we have, I do not think we have any late items, so could we please have the adoption of the Committee of the Whole agenda? Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Bennett, all in favor. Thank you. And this morning we have a delegation here, and we have the, I've got to get the term right, Doug Robb, who is the General Manager and professional golfer. Am I correct, Mr. Robb?
At one point.
At one point, okay. And Jay Hendrickson, who is helping with a special event that that the club is putting on, the Suias Golf Club, this summer. It's the Canadian Women's Mid, Amateur, and Seniors Championships. And we welcome you both, and we're going to ask you to come up and tell us a little bit about it and what it's going to mean for the town of Suias, and what we can do to assist you other than putting it on our e-news, and we would certainly be happy to do that anytime you have anything. We do have e-news that comes out from the town, and we'd be happy to put it on our website too. Okay, would you please come up to the microphone? Thank you and welcome.
Okay, well, thanks for having us this morning. Jay, who's with me, Jay is our sponsorship chair with the championship. So we have, I think, 8 or 9 chairs. So we've been meeting now since November, once a month with this championship, and then we talk to the head office back east, I think every second meeting, so we do a conference call with them because Golf Canada is driven out of Toronto, so that's where that happens. So this is a unique event. So this is the Canadian Ladies Mid and Senior Championship. So there's really for this event, there's 4 events in one, right? Because it starts as a 25-year-old or over, you can play in the Mid-Am. As a 40-year-old gal, you can play in what's called the Mid-Master. As a 50-year-old lady, you can play in the Senior Championship. And then I know this is really depressing for all of us, but as a 60-year-old, you can play in the Super Seniors Championship.
Now look, I'm older than that, 60, and I do not consider myself a super senior.
That's where the brackets, that's where it ends. Yeah, that's where it ends. So, and the reason they consolidate this is just because people traveling and such for big events now is just, it's not what it used to be. So this gives them an opportunity to be able to have 4 different categories at one venue, right? Okay. So from a Golf Canada standpoint, it just makes it just more fiscally responsible. Mm-hmm. So there's about 3,000 facilities in the country, golf facilities. There's a little bit more than that, but there's a bunch of mom and pop operations that really don't get counted with Golf Canada. So there's 8 national events a year in the country. So I was approached now about a year ago to look at the opportunity or the possibility of hosting a national event. So I've done some provincial stuff in my time, but I've never done a national event. So this is really unique for the town and the golf club. And the only reason I thought that we could actually do it was because of the volunteer participation that I would need to have. And so I've been here about 18 months, and what I've witnessed there, we have just under 500 members. We do a lot of events up there. It's an active place, as everyone knows. So currently we have 120 volunteers signed up for the event. So that's roughly 25% of our membership is committed. And there's various different things that we're doing, from transportation to scoring to just everything you can think of. The volunteer side of it in any of these events is a monumental task, right? So we had to reach out to our membership. We've been doing a lot of fundraising to try and pull this event off. So I've been pleasantly surprised by the participation that we've had at the membership level, for sure.
Good.
So we'll see full field for this event, which is 156 players. The unique thing about this, again, is that a lot of these players will bring their families, especially to a part of the world like this. So we'll draw, obviously, from all parts of Canada, a big contingent from the east, because Ontario is a big golf province, so we'll see a bunch of competitors out of Ontario, which have already signed up, U.S. participants, and Australia. So we'll get people from different parts of the world that'll get to experience the South Okanagan and the Soyuz. So we're excited about that. We're expecting a full field of 156. So we've reached out to the accommodators, obviously, because that time of the year it's pretty active around here. We've also reached out to the membership for billeting possibilities, so we've had good response there. So from that side of it, I mean, it's been pretty encouraging early days for this event. So I think it's going to be great exposure for the whole area, right? So our challenges obviously are to cover the costs to be able to put something like this on, because we do incur costs, especially with our volunteer side of it. So, for example, we have 120 volunteers, so we have to put them each in a shirt, which is $37, which is $4,400 at the end of the day, right? So we have to try and find those funds, right? Volunteer lunches, that's another $800. I mean, those are things you just don't think about when you're running these events, though. All that stuff comes into play, right? So we need a tent, a place where the volunteers will organize every morning, so that's $600, right? So there's just all those costs that you do incur. I did send you a budget earlier. I think last week I sent it over.
I don't have it here.
No? Didn't get that?
I haven't seen it, but
Okay.
maybe if we have it, and if not, then
Then I can read- I can
Mrs. Hilson will
Yeah, I
get
can
that
certainly
for
send
us.
it over.
Okay.
And then one of the things that I thought that I'd really like to do is, one of the commitments for this is water for the participants, because of, it's going to be mid-August, it's going to be probably 30-something, right? So our commitment for water is 300 to 400 a day, right, with the players and the volunteers. So my idea on the water side of it was to go with a cylinder as opposed to plastic bottles. We would just have a cylinder that every participant would get. I'd love to put the town of Osoyoos on that cylinder. Then we have water stations on the golf course already, and then I'd add 2 or 3 or 4 more temporary ones. So those are basically clear jugs with ice water in them, so the participants can fill up their cylinder and continue to move around the property. So that'll save us upwards of 1,000 plastic bottles for the week, which I just really didn't want to deal with. And I think from an environmental standpoint, that's just less we have to deal with at our landfills, right? So that was certainly something that we're looking at doing.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at with this event. I mean, we're moving along. Again, it's a monumental task for the club, because we will be open. The unique thing about 2 golf courses, we'll have the other side open during the events. We'll be doing with regular public play. Members, that's another 160 to 220 players per day on the other side of the golf course. So
can I ask, how many, are you just using 1 or 2 of the 9s?
yeah,
or?
so we're playing the event on Park Meadows just because it's walkable. Because the early people can't ride, they have to walk in the event. So we're just playing the Park Meadows for all 3 days. And then we'll keep the desert open just for regular play.
Okay, and can you give us the dates?
So that is the 17th to the 20th of August.
Okay, so the desert is open for regular, yeah. Well, thank you very much. Can we?
Any questions?
Myers, did
I'm
you
more than
have
happy
a
to answer
question?
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a comment, Doug. I know that Golf Canada, I did some golfing. I'm not a really good golfer, but I enjoy it. And I can remember going back and seeing people like Brooks Henderson a few years ago in a Golf Canada magazine. There's a little 16-year-old from Ontario, and now she's famous. So I think it's really great you're bringing this to Osoyoos, and I'd be happy to volunteer, and I'm sure my wife would. We've been involved with Ironman, and
Oh, yeah, that's
see
great.
what it
Yeah.
does for Penticton, and we know about 10,000 lunches and that kind of stuff. So we'd be glad to help, and
Yeah.
whatever we can do here.
That's great. Appreciate that.
Sure. Anybody else? Was Jay going to speak to us, or he's just here listening?
Not
Or?
unless there was specific questions that.
Okay, so you did say that you were looking at a sponsorship, and so I'm just, I didn't know whether you had an ask for the town of Osoyoos, or how have you dealt with that and if you did, we would certainly look at it, but we just weren't sure how, what the procedure was.
Yeah, I think, I'd really love to see the town sponsor the water initiative. I mean, so that's going to be in and about around $2,000 for that by the time I'm done.
We have some water bottles, but I don't know how many we've got left. With the Sirius logo on them, we could certainly look at.
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah. Did you need anything in terms of pens or pins or?
Well, we'd certainly welcome any of that.
Yeah. And you've been to Destination Sirius too? You've talked to them?
Yeah, I'm a board member there, so I've got a good connection there. So
yeah. Okay.
As Myers is too, but. Right.
Okay. Well, I think it sounds like a really interesting, opportunity for the club to put on something of this nature. Do we have any big names? Like Brooke Henderson wouldn't be here, no, because she's too young.
Yes, this is an amateur event, right? So it'll be the top
she's
amateurs
not, yeah.
from the country, right? So top female amateurs, so and abroad, like internationally, right?
Yes.
Because of our location, we'll draw a lot of those type of players for sure. So.
Go ahead.
Doug, is there any other stuff like tables, chairs, stuff that we have like at the recreation center that you could use?
Possibly. I mean, we're just kind of still circling the wagons on that. It's trying to just nail down exactly what we're going to need, but that may be something we may need to look at for sure. Yeah.
So we do have like special events that get put on in the town quite often, and like Cherry Fiesta is the next one coming up after Cactus Jalopies. And so what we do is over at the Sonora Center, there is a special event form which somebody can fill out. Now I don't know whether that applies to you or not, but it sort of lists all the things that you might need from the town in terms of barricades or signage. There is some of that around. Tables, chairs, a banner. Do you have a banner that you're going? Because if you do, it can be hung on Main Street. Those are the kinds of things. So
sure.
if it's Sarah and Gerald at the Sonora Center would be quite happy to, I think, to help you if you had any questions about that type of thing.
All right. Well, that sounds very good. Appreciate that.
CJ.
Just another thing, the town does have a bus as well that we...
Yeah, we've used that in the past, for sure.
So
Well, I know that
I know
Audrey's been in contact just regarding, because we have to shuttle some people around, right, from hotels and such, so, yeah.
Yeah, we're just looking at your budget. It's on...
Where did you find it?
We just got it.
Oh, okay, we just got it. Good, thank you.
I know there's shuttles on there, so
Right.
I better mention that.
Well, we can certainly look at this. Is there any way, Mr. Zackel, that we could have a look at what types of things the town might be able to do to assist this? And maybe could we ask for a report to be? Do you want to make that motion, CJ?
Because of the nature of the event and Gerald's knowledge about the relationship that we have with the golf club, maybe he would be your best lead-in to look for whatever we can come up with to help out with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could we get the town staff to have a look at that, see what we could? Okay. What we could come up with. Yeah. We need a motion to do that.
Yeah.
CJ, you moving that motion? Myers seconding it. All in favor? Thank you. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate, we wish you all the best of luck. I know I've talked to Roy Wood a couple of times, and I think he's in charge of media and that
communications.
kind of thing.
And we have you penciled in for Saturday night?
Yes, on the
Big banquet
17th.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's exciting.
and the other thing is, do you have like a silent auction and I don't know whether that's part of your agenda or not, when you have or prizes that you give out for things? I mean, that we could look at that too.
Sure.
If it's on your agenda, I'm not sure. On your budget.
Sure.
We'll
So,
have a look.
yeah, we're in full fundraising mode right now, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Well, you're
right.
lucky that you have a lot of volunteers up there, and
Yeah,
volunteers
spectacular.
are the lifeblood of this town. They help out for everything. It might be a good idea for you to consider putting a convertible in the parade on July 1st with the advertising on it. That might be a good thought, because there's so many people in town, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've always been a participant in the parade, so.
Yes,
being there,
yes.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Well, thank you very
Appreciate the
much for
time.
coming, and good luck with your event. I'm sure it'll keep you busy for a while, eh?
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Doug.
Oh, and there's Gerald. So, Gerald, we were just talking to these gentlemen from the golf course about the the championships, the women's championships this summer, and we suggested that maybe they come and talk to you and Sarah to see if there was anything in particular that they might need from the town, or some help that we could give them. I mean, in terms of special event things and, the bus and barricades and tables or whatever they might need. So it's in the working stages. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, thank you very much for coming. Yeah.
Nice meeting you all.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
So I believe that we're at the end of this, so could we have a motion, please, to close this agenda? Thank you. We can do 1-2 or 2-1, whatever you like. Thank you.